Hey everyone, before this episode begins, I just wanted to let you know that this is a live episode, so the audio might be a little bit off here and there. It was also my first live episode ever, so I learned a lot from this, and I'm hoping to use that and improve on the next time I do a live episode. But just want to kind of put a little warning up at the top of the episode, just to let you know there may be some moments where you don't always hear everything that's being said clearly, specifically from the guests that would walk up to the third microphone, but I did my best to fix it, so hopefully you enjoy it. And also, another quick note that I forgot to mention at the end of the episode with all the plugs and whatnot, please consider giving a 5-star rating and review to the show on the iTunes or the whatever the Apple Podcast app is now, Apple Podcasts. But yes, because iTunes is dead. But please consider giving it a 5-star rating and review. And also, I have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/stillloadingpod. If you want to support the show, please consider donating through there. It helps with the cost of the show. And if we meet certain goals, I'll be able to do more things with the podcast. So please consider checking it out. And with all that out of the way, on to the show. On this episode of Still Loading, we're live from Classic Game Junkie. Welcome to this episode of Still Loading. What you're hearing in the background is our first ever live episode of the podcast. That's right, we are recording live for the first time ever. It's a little weird because I've never done this before, but yeah, so Casey, thank you. Oh, I didn't even introduce you. Casey is here to join me to do this for our first live episode. Casey, say hello, sir.
Always a pleasure to be on this podcast. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us. So, we wanted to do this. So Classic Game Junkie is a store that's in our area, and it is one of probably the best game store I've been to personally. I don't know about you. Would you agree with that?
What's that?
Would you say Classic Game Junkie is the best store?
Yes, absolutely. I've been going to these types of stores since, I would probably say, since 2003, starting with Game Crazy when I was part of Hollywood Video. And I was actually thinking about it today so I first came here about a couple months after it first opened up. And I've also noticed the other game stores in the area, like the Play and Trades, they closed within like 2-3 years.
So you've been going here so it's been open for a number of years now.
Yeah, they just had their 9th year. I think it was today. I started going when I discovered it a couple months after, about like September 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're doing free video game day today. They're giving away a shitload of free games. Pretty much, at least for those who have never been to a free video game day, pretty much the way it works is that you tell them what console you want. You are given a grab bag. You don't know what game you're going to get, so it's kind of a little bit of a surprise, a secret type of bit. But it's still a shitload of fun. Thankfully, Game Junkie here promises no sports games. So I know all you retro collectors out there probably aren't the biggest fans of sports games or whatnot. I don't even know if we're getting one, but Casey, what would you choose? Like, what are you going for? What do you think? What console would you want today?
Ideally, it would probably be the. I'm conflicted between Game Boy Color, and Super Nintendo. I would have loved to get a Switch, but they only have 6 bags, and I'm obviously not. That's not going to happen. But whatever.
Yeah, that's going to be like given away almost immediately.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm not holding my breath.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think I'd probably go for Game Boy this time. Last year I went with Sega Genesis, and I love the Genesis, but I've kind of have a bunch of Genesis games now, so I don't really need any more.
Last year, did you get the?
Well, I always need more.
Was it Jurassic Park in the box?
I got Jurassic Park in the box. Yeah.
I got the Game Boy Color. It was Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. So these are legit games. They're not.
No, yeah, like some actual good shit.
Yeah.
So I figured today, because we have a third mic set up for anyone who wants to join us, anyone who wants to hop in and talk to us about whatever games they really feel like talking about. But while we're waiting for that, I figured we could talk about E3, and since it just kind of ended earlier this week, is there anything that stood out to you at all? Like, I have a couple topics I wanted to talk and like get your opinions on, but like, is there anything that you're either looking forward to, or like, what did you see? What did you like?
Sure. So, I basically got my news from E3 on Facebook. I didn't actually watch it live. So mainly the games that I'm kind of looking forward to is Nintendo-wise, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh my god,
Cannot wait for that one.
Gooigi, the introduction of Gooigi.
That's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to also. I'm debating about also maybe getting Collection of Mana on Switch. But yeah, Nintendo's on absolute fire. Like,
oh my god, they
know
killed
what
it at
they're
E3
doing.
this year.
But how about you?
Pretty much a lot of the Nintendo stuff as well. I did really want to. I'm excited, even though I don't like Bethesda games all that much. I really liked what is it? The new Doom game that's coming out, Doom Eternal. Looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to. Oh my god, what is it? The new Wolfenstein game. Even though I have not played either one of the two new Wolfensteins just yet, it's just been. I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it because I've heard nothing but good things about them. So I've been really wanting to like try it out. But yeah. Is there anything else or just Nintendo for you?
This year it's just been mainly Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always. You're never disappointed. So.
Would you say? All right. Actually, so here's where the things are I wanted to talk to you about. I want to gauge your opinion on this shit. So, Google Stadia, because they had a press conference at E3. What do you think of it? Do you know anything about it?
I actually don't.
Have you heard of it yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, dude, it's all over. Okay, so Google Stadia is Google's foray into the gaming market.
Okay.
But the collector in me is staunchly against this. The consumer in me is not 100% sure. So it's going to be 100% streaming console. Like you will. It's kind of like how Netflix works.
Okay.
It'll be like Netflix for games. They gave you the specs for like what you would need to, like what your internet connection speed would have to be, and it would have to be. I actually wrote it down. It's to play minimum 720p games. You need 10 megabits. Megabits different than megabytes, which still confuses the shit out of me. But yeah, like 10 megabits per second to play 720p games. Up to 30 days. If you want to play 4K games in 4K, 60 FPS, then you need 35 megabits a second or something like that. So you don't actually own any of the games. You can just choose it, and the Google will have a bunch of servers over on their end that will then run the game, and then they stream it to you and you play it. I butchered that description. I was kind of all over the place.
Now, do they have licenses for certain systems so far, or
I haven't seen any announcements for it just yet, but I would not be surprised if there was specific. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty much. It's probably going to be a lot of third-party developers, so like Ubisoft, Activision, developers and publishers, Ubisoft, Activision, EA, stuff like that, things that don't really have allegiances to individual console manufacturers. So like you're not going to see like Uncharted or like any Sony-specific games or any Nintendo-specific games over on there. I doubt you're going to see Halo over on that thing, but you will probably see, like Watch Dogs or like Assassin's Creed or things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how that's going to turn out. But
what do you think of it? What do you think of a streaming-only console? Be honest. This is a safe space.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm with you. The collector in me, I have to have the physical copy of things. I mean, it's one thing to try something out before, getting it. But I know at some point, physical copies, they're going to be phased out. It's inevitable.
I don't think it ever will be, though. That's where the reason I don't think it ever will be is because I don't see a reason for developers to really do that. Like, I don't know. I think there's too many people who still want to own a physical thing. Like, I don't think that's going to go away. Like, kids like tactile things. I honestly feel like, imagine being a kid and, like, not being able to, how's it going, guys? Yeah. If you would like to join in, we're talking about E3. I have a third mic if you want to talk. Anything you want to talk about? Here, let me turn you up. So what's your name, man?
My name's Jordan Welsh.
Nice to meet you, man.
I run Trueborn Gaming Network.
Oh yeah? What is Trueborn Gaming Network?
It's pretty much a gaming hub for just any old type of gamers to just, share their streams or gaming memes. Anything video game related. I don't discriminate even like on Fortnite and stuff.
I would probably, but
yeah.
Is it like a YouTube channel or like what is like where can you find
YouTube,
it?
Facebook.com, Trueborn Gaming Network, Instagram, JWXYZ TBG.
Okay.
Depop. It's like an online thrift store.
Oh shit! I never even heard of that.
Yeah, JWXYZ on Depop. I sell closing games on it. let's talk E3 real quick.
Yeah, we were just talking about the Stadia. What do you think of it?
The what?
Google Stadia.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like it, but that's also because I'm a collector, so I like to own all my stuff. But would you prefer a fully streaming platform?
Yeah, my buddy was talking to me about that actually too. The controller looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. And also they have some partners, like I believe Ubisoft and Rockstar.
See, he just asked do they have any people lined up for him? Like, I don't know. I'm assuming some of the big third-party players. So
having Rockstar on your team is just really important.
They're going to have a lot of. That's going to give them a lot of business.
Plus
Yeah.
games.
So hopefully, like Red Dead and Bully 2 is on its way, and GTA 6 is right around the corner behind Bully 2. So it might do something, but hopefully it's not going to be just like another emulator console.
Yeah.
We were also talking about, since it's going to be streaming, how I said that I at some point in the near future that gaming in general is just going to be strictly streaming. They're going to phase out the physical. I mean, with PC and more people coming on PC, and that's strictly streaming. So, what's your opinion on that? Do you think there's still going to be a market for physical?
There's still going to be disc. Some people
That's
just
what I was
have
saying.
the cases. I love just having the case.
Sure.
Even though I'm too lazy to pop my games into my console sometimes, but you can still see that there's a market. I was talking to a coworker of mine. His friend just bought the discless Xbox One. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of weird because like some games you can buy at Game Junkie or a GameStop for $5-6, but online it's like $60 still.
Yeah.
So that's if you don't care about saving a few extra dollars. That's like,
Right.
I don't feel like going to the store. I don't like going to Walmart, etc.
I definitely think the pre-owned market's going to save, keep disc, physical media alive because you can get it for shit a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And on top of that, with everything online, DRM and shit like that, they have ways to do it now. Like on Steam, you can have friends borrow your games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But it's not like it's as easy to transfer licenses over. At least not. I mean, I feel like it should be. Developers should just be able to just do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it'll ever go away. I don't want it to ever go away because I love collecting.
No, I don't either. But I just don't know in terms of
oh shit, that was loud.
cost efficiencies and cost effectiveness for companies. I just don't know. But then at the same time, they're still making Blu-rays 4K. But I know they're starting to.
Yeah,
Well,
you never know. They might phase out disc and make them small, like the Switch cartridges, which are pretty cool. I like the Switch.
I love
cartridges.
that.
Even though they're not as powerful, I don't think.
I mean, that's all depending on the console too. Cartridges are only as powerful as what the console is. I mean, hell, if they do shit like what they did with the NES, they could just add hardware into the cartridge. I don't think they would do that. I don't know if the Switch would allow for that.
Like think about The Witcher 3 coming out on Switch.
I wonder how that's going to work.
The frame rate's going to drop because that's a pretty powerful game.
Or do you think they're going to lower the resolution, or not the resolution, but the polygons? Do you think they're going to lower the number of polygons so that way it doesn't have to render as much? So that way,
Yeah,
do you
they've
think
done
that would be their
with
best
Mortal
bet?
Kombat 11.
Did they do that?
Yeah, they took a lot out of Mortal Kombat 11 to make it fit.
Just to keep up with it, Consoles, unlike Xbox One and PS4, they're immaculate with consoles, but compared to you can even go back to the previous generations and stuff like that. From the Wii, the Wii's graphics was the same as PS2 graphics, damn near. You know what I mean? But
it was pretty much just a GameCube with motion sensors.
Exactly. But at the same time, the 360 and the PS3 were out doing HDMI, and the Wii was only doing simple.
I think AV.
You could get component out of it. There was a component adapter, but that's still not HDMI.
Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong with that. I know I'm kind of segueing off topic here, but whenever I tried component with the Wii, it only came out in black and white. It didn't come, and I don't know. I'm
no, there's So that means that you have. So I looked at this before. There's I don't know. There's another setting because on the TV that I have component options with, if I have it set to the wrong thing, it will have the Wii picture, but it'll be all in black and white.
Yeah.
But if I change it to a different one, then it suddenly works.
I'll have to play around with it sometime.
I'd have to. Yeah, we have to play around with it.
I just don't use it with the AV, so.
But like Leatherface with this thing on.
But so what did you get today? What did you choose?
Xbox One. Out of Switch games. I got
Dying Light. That's not a bad thing to get.
I believe this is that parkour zombie game.
Yeah.
So it's another game to my collection. So.
That's actually. I love that they promised no sports games. I mean, I like sports games, but
everyone was going to get Madden 2005
exactly
on PS2 and up. So
exactly.
But yeah, Matt, you want to head out? I'm gonna follow you guys on Instagram and stuff like that.
I'm the host of the show. My name's Josh Jordan, right?
Yeah.
I'm bad with names, so
Pleasure.
I'll be asking everyone their names again. Casey's my friend. He hops on episodes every now and then. Actually, coming up is Mario month. So he'll be on for all the.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah,
Matter of
it's
fact,
going to be
I
good.
think I may have seen one of your guys' live videos on Facebook. Maybe.
I never had.
Do live
This is actually my
videos?
first live event ever. Like I've never.
Facebook Live, or
No, I've never done anything like that. It's a really small podcast, so like I do this for fun on the side. I have a
should.
full-time job
Same.
otherwise, but this is just something I do on the side. It's a shitload of fun. And I figured I love this store. Frank knows me. It's a great way to get exposure for the podcast and to meet other gamers because
Hell yeah.
everyone has different likes and whatnot.
Maybe
So
we can rock out another time and talk more.
are you going to too many
video
games?
No.
Okay.
Probably not, but I'm always online, so if you gotta. I own a lot of consoles, so even if you stream shit, you know.
What's your thing again?
Chuborn Gaming Network. Yeah. And we can link from there, you know. You got Xbox. Well, my PS4 actually
You on
just
Facebook?
broke.
Chuborn
Yeah,
Gaming Network?
yeah. Chuborn Gaming Network on Facebook. This is great exposure for my stuff because I started Chuborn Gaming Network last year. So it's still in the up and up. Hey, buddy.
No, but thank you for stopping by. We haven't had anyone come over and talk just yet, so it was nice to
I'm
actually.
glad I'm the first one.
You were literally the first one.
So, all right.
So. All right, man.
All right,
Well, it was
have a
nice
good
meeting
one.
you. Have a good rest of your
Stay
day.
blessed,
Have a
guys.
good
Take
day.
care.
Yeah. All right, that was awesome. So, yeah. So Stadia. We were talking about the Stadia. So. Google Stadia. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about it. Thank you. If you guys want to talk at all, you're more than welcome to hop on mic.
Yeah.
We're talking about E3 stuff at the moment, so yeah. Just getting random opinions. Don't really know what we're doing with it just yet, but yeah, it's a video game podcast. I do swear a little bit on it, so if in case I know you have a kid, so in case you're worried about that, just giving you a heads up. But yeah, cover retro to modern stuff and just have fun and talk about stuff. I try to focus a lot on history type of things. So like, I actually just finished up a whole thing on the history of Naughty Dog. Like, talked about each of their founders and then did a whole thing on it. And I'm planning. It hasn't actually. When people hear this, they might have already heard oh shit, I need to finish editing an episode. Now that I think about it, I have an episode due out tomorrow that I have to edit still. But I'm going to be doing a whole series on Naughty Dog games. So Uncharted will be the next one out. But yeah. All right, thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
You too.
So,
Oh, that guy's T-shirt. Super
one?
Nintendo one.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
awesome one. So yeah, Google Stadia. Like I said, I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know if I really want to have a streaming only platform. But
Right.
yeah. So do you have any other words to say on Stadia before we move on? We kind of talked it out with Jordan over there a lot.
It's one of those things where I'm gonna have to look into it more. I mean, I'm not really too keen on the idea, to be honest. But I'll see what it has to offer before making a
I
real
mean,
judgment
it is
on
only $150 for the console, and compared to like what new consoles coming, I mean, like still, I mean, PS4 is $400, Xbox
Yeah.
One is $400 or $300 or whatever, and the newer gen consoles supposedly are going to be stupid fucking expensive too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it. But yeah, so. Moving on, then Xbox's press conference. They had Project Scarlet, which is their code name for the new console that's coming out. They released a handful of specs about it, but nothing too like concrete. The only thing that I read is that they're going to have a solid state hard drive. You'll be able to play games at 120 FPS, which seems overkill to me. Like, that's not a complaint, like, mind you. Like, I would love to play a console at 120 FPS, but, like, 60 is already smooth as hell. I don't know what more 120 is going to really do.
Right.
And it's going to be shown at 8K resolution,
That's pretty nuts.
right? Frank!
Here's the man of the hour
the
himself.
man of the hour. What's up, guys? All right. I have you on mic if you want to hop on there.
There we go. We get on this mic. This mic
There
looks
you go.
sexy.
It is
Very
sexier.
phallic.
Yes.
There you go. So how's everything going so far today?
Not bad. I'm loving the headphones here.
Thank you.
We were here till like 4 in the morning, and well, I'm freaking beat.
I believe it. I believe it. How?
Yeah,
No. What were you gonna say?
I don't even know, man. I'm so tired. I only slept for like 3 hours.
Oh, jeez.
The line is like halfway down the street, all the way further than last year.
Is it already?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, actually. And all the people on the street are like, "What the hell is going on?" What are all these people?
We've had so many people be like, what's coming out today? We're like, it's free video game day, and they're like, what?
What?
I was telling Casey last year there was an old guy that walked by with him and his wife, and they're like, "What's going on today?" We said, "Free video game day," and the old man under his breath as he's walking away, he's like, "Jesus Christ, these kids!" I'm like, "Oh, come on, man."
I'm just really glad that somebody still considers me a kid at this point.
All right. Oh my God. But no, it's been. We've been talking about E3 so far. What have you thought of it? So, did you see anything with E3 at all?
Yeah, I like the Breath of the Wild announcement.
Yes, the Breath of the Wild. So we haven't gotten into Nintendo yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
The Nintendo stuff's the stuff that excites me these days.
I think I have a theory about this. I feel like Nintendo holds true to older audiences now, whether because you remember it or not. But like, when you're a teenager in like your early 20s, you just want the grittiness, you want the cool thing. And then once you're older, then you're like, I kind of want the stuff that I don't have to think about anything anymore. I just want to play shit that doesn't challenge me. Not challenge you like game-wise, but like, I don't want any harsh things. I just want fun.
When I was 14, I was just like, oh man, that's for kids.
Exactly.
That's for kids. I want to murder people and stab them in the face. Okay? But then I got older, I'm like, I really want to play Mario, and I want to get more mushrooms, and I want to go to bed and dream that I'm there because real life is kind of shitty.
Exactly.
So I don't want to think about people. People get stabbed in the face out front all the time now.
I feel like Nintendo is just everyone's midlife crisis. That's how I'm going to classify it.
I can't disagree with that.
But no, so this is the 9th anniversary of Classic Game Junkie. This is the owner of the store. I don't think we said it on mic just yet, but Frank is the owner of Classic Game Junkie.
Hey.
So...
Thank you, Frank. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's some good shit. Some good...
Was there something brand new in the PS4 stuff? Because I didn't see it trying to zoom in on that stuff. I just saw what was on the Switch.
I don't remember, dude. I was so over our heads getting this together last night that, man, I just can't believe we got it done. People seem pretty highly content right now, so that's good.
This has been great. I mean, there's already been people walking. I wasn't expecting anyone to want to stop by and talk, but we've already had a bunch of people, so it's been good.
Oh, yeah. Shout them up. I'm going to go make sure that the store's not burning down. And,
fair enough. I'll see you around.
Try to grab a Super Nintendo game. Try.
So, yeah. Xbox One, the new Xbox, Project Scarlet, 120 FPS 8K resolution. Seems a little ridiculous to me, but what I did see, I didn't get to read all of it. Like, Microsoft had a shitload of game announcements. Like, there were so many. Guy gave me a weird look. It's a bunch of game announcements like Halo Infinite, Gears 5, Cyberpunk 2077 was like the big one with freaking Keanu Reeves coming, right? Dude, Keanu's having like the best like comeback ever. You know what I'm saying?
Like halfway in the sound.
I couldn't get into the. I mean, call me crazy. I couldn't get into the John Wick movies. I saw the first one. I didn't like
you couldn't get into them?
Nah.
Are you kidding me?
I saw the first one. I was like, nah.
You're mentally irregular.
I'm like,
you're mentally irregular.
No character development. It's just. Stupid.
You don't. What do you mean? His dog died. That's all the character development you need. Come on.
I know.
Now.
I'm gonna get hate for that, but honestly, I like Keanu as a person, as an actor. He doesn't really do anything for me. However, Speed is one of my favorite movies.
Wait, so you're telling me that you can't get into John Wick, but you can get into the bus movie?
Yeah. Yeah, Speed is much better than John Wick.
Oh my God.
On all fronts.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Dennis Hopper as the villain. Good
Sandra
Lord.
Bullock also
Yeah.
as help, but I don't know if she's going to ask us.
Everyone's going to unsub from you now.
Because of you?
Yeah.
No, they know I like John Wick, so
you're gonna
I'm
have to do
safe.
damage control.
No, I'm safe. They know that I like John Wick, so I'm
Gotcha.
good to go. So yeah, I don't know. Cyberpunk 2077, it's by CD Projekt Red, the same people who did the Witcher games, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I've never tried any of the Witcher games. I've wanted to. I've heard nothing but good things. Have you tried any of them, by the way?
I haven't. No.
I mean, RPGs are so hard for me to like find time to play anymore. It kind of sucks. How's it going, man? I just never have time really to play them anymore because they're like 80-hour-long commitments. So like, what can I really do? You know?
Exactly. And now that I believe we were talking about this before in the past, that we're at that point in our lives where it's like we can't really spend too much time on those types of games.
I don't get how
RPGs.
even as a kid, I don't remember how I like had so much time to do stuff like that. It's just nuts. But I don't know. I want to get into it because like people still play it and it seems awesome. But into Cyberpunk, it's based off a tabletop RPG. I'm pretty sure Cyberpunk 2077. So I would love to get into it, and the fact that Keanu Reeves is in it. I mean, there's been a lot of Hollywood stars like jumping in on like having like doing stuff in video games. Ellen Page did that David Cage game a couple years ago, Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
It was okay. I mean, compared to Heavy Rain, it wasn't anything special.
Heavy Rain, and the thing is, like, realistically, David Cage games, are they really anything that special? Like, I love his storytelling, but to a degree, but it's just quick time event the game.
Yeah.
I loved Heavy Rain though. Did you play it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. I liked it quite a bit. I actually just finished a few months ago Detroit Become Human.
Was that good?
It was very good. It was definitely better than Beyond Two Souls. Definitely makes you think. It's pretty damn cool though.
Is it I'll have to try it out. Well, like, what's the premise? Like, what is it like a cyborg type of thing? Like, what does it try to answer the question? What does it mean to be a human? Type of bit. Like a lot of futuristic things I noticed, like Ghost in the Shell and shit, does stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of goes along the lines of that. There are people that are kind of like rising up against these, android cyborg type people because. They're in the workforce, taking people's jobs, and then they're getting angry, and then there's kind of like a exactly. And then toward the end, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but toward the end, let's just say, depending on the route that you take in the game, you could more or less end up in a concentration camp.
What, really?
Yeah, for robots.
That is fucking heavy.
Yeah,
Holy crap!
It is very profound.
That's nuts. I'm gonna have to check that game out then.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to try it.
It's PSN $8.
Digital though.
Yeah, that's true.
but no, I might try it. No, a game I have been playing though is to kind of get a little bit off of E3 for just a tidbit. Like this episode's not going to be like anything. Like we're kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
Like I said, anyone who wants to come up can come up. But so I'm playing through Super Mario RPG for the first time.
I love that game.
Dude,
so good.
It's really good so far, but fuck the Axum Rangers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yep.
about? One of the worst experiences of my life. Do you want to hop on mic at all, man?
Oh, I didn't know we were talking crap about the Axum Rangers.
The Axum Rangers are a bunch of assholes.
Guys, like grabbing him like,
There you
shit
go.
over here. Let's talk.
What's your name?
Vincent,
Vincent? Go ahead, talk.
what, is it just an annoying boss, or you just
Yeah.
don't like the Super
Move
Sentai aspect?
move just a little bit closer to the mic.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. All right, that works. And perfect. No, so have you ever played Super Mario RPG?
Yes, of course.
So the Axum Rangers are after you. It's right before you get the 6th star. You have to go into this volcano. You fight this dragon thing, which is a semi-tough boss fight. I'm a little under-leveled at the moment, so that's my own fault. But you beat the boss fight. You're like, all right, I'm going to get the star that one of the 7 stars that you have to collect. And all of a sudden, it just disappears from you. And all of a sudden, this like dude comes up. He's like, I think it's a big yellow one. I forget who originally takes it. But he's like, this star isn't, like, we're taking the star for ourselves. And you chase after him, and you see all of them. And it's just a ripoff of Power Rangers. It's literally red, yellow, red, yellow, green, pink, and black. And I don't think there's a Blue Ranger, which is kind of a Blue Axum Ranger. But they're called the Axum Rangers. And then you have to fight them, and you have to fight all 5 of them at once. And it's just a bullshit fight. It's an awful fight because you just finished fighting like another guy. Your items are completely diminished or depleted.
Do you have Peach in your party?
I looked up strategies on how to beat him, and Peach is your best bet on that because since there's 5 of them, right? All of them get a turn before you finish up like your full round.
Speed's a factor, but yeah, usually like there are 2 of them who are going to be probably slower than most of your party. I think it's like the fat one, the yellow one, and I think the black one.
The fat one, yeah.
But the black one doesn't do anything damage-wise. He just throws bombs. But anyway, I get it. They don't heal you, or you don't have a chance to do it yourself without realizing, oh, I got to do something else after the Tsar Dragon. I get that.
I was so mad that they threw it at you. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I still think that
the reason for me losing is 100% me. It's not the game, so I'm not blaming the game. It's not bad game design. I could maybe make the argument that a boss immediately right after that's if it's a second form of a boss, I'm more forgiving of that because you're like, oh, it's just another form. But
I feel like you do have a little bit of leeway in regards to something's happening because you see someone stealing the star. If we were talking about not bad boss fights, but hard boss fights in Mario RPG, Yardrak, the 5th one, the one with all the toads that are pretending to be toads.
That was pretty annoying.
Yeah, basically his Hydro Storm that nukes everybody for like whatever amount of damage. It's mostly just most of your health. If you don't have Peach at that point, you're gonna be having a bad time.
I'm playing through. I just beat the Axum Rangers yesterday. Actually, last night. I was getting anxious for today. I'm
Okay,
like, I just want to record. So I needed something to relax.
So you haven't gotten to that part afterwards.
I am
is what you're
currently
saying.
in Bowser's Castle right now.
Okay, so you haven't gotten to the sword yet.
No, that is the. I don't know how close am I to the end of the game? Do I have to get the 7th star and
after
then
you beat the sword, you go to the world where Smithy came from,
yeah.
and that's its own little area. But after that, that's the end.
All right, so I pretty much am almost there.
Right.
That's cool. I've been working my way through it, but so Vincent, right? I'm
Yes.
bad with names.
Yes.
What did you get today?
Let's take a look.
It's free video game day. I got to ask everyone that comes out and talks.
I got God of War for the PS4.
Dude,
I think
that's a 40. It has it marked at 40, right?
35. It's probably
still-
one of the more pricier PS4 games they were giving away.
Dude, that's amazing.
Dude, I'm just mad I couldn't be here earlier because the Switch games they were giving out were great. Because I was just, not only did they have not that many of them, there aren't that many super cheap Switch games.
No,
I
they're
wanted
not.
to get Super Bomberman R at some point.
That would have been a double for me if I got that. Doom would have probably been the only thing that wasn't a double, but it still would have been nice.
Like, since we're here to like do stuff, I just feel weird asking Frank, like, hey Frank, can we like get a game now, even though we didn't wait in line? I feel like I don't want to do that. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a little like,
I know what you mean.
just a little off.
From what I want to get, I might be safe. So I don't know.
What did you want to get again?
I'm going to say Atari.
Atari, yeah.
I'm conflicted between Game Boy or Super Nintendo.
Okay.
So,
I was going to go
I
for
might be
Game Boy.
okay.
Last year I got
Yeah.
Genesis and I got Jurassic Park in the box.
Ooh, nice.
Right? So
So, oh, sorry.
no, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, you first, because this might not be relevant.
No. I was going to go back to E3.
Oh, I was going to say, because we're on the topic of RPG, Super Mario RPG. Great freaking game. Love it very much. Another unpopular opinion. I like Earthbound a lot, don't get me wrong. I just think it's very overrated.
I'm 100% with you, actually.
Okay.
I prefer Mother 3 from a gameplay standpoint.
I have not tried Mother 3. Did you play like a translated version?
Why, is there any other way?
Well, I guess that's a dumb question. I guess that you're right. Since it has, though, it's coming out. No, I'm thinking.
Nope, that's the running gag.
Senken Densetsu 3 is coming out finally.
Yes, Trials of Mana. It doesn't
that's
feel
the
good that it
sequel
has
to
a
Secret of
name
Mana.
now.
That's going to be on the collection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first time
And
it's
a
ever been
remake.
released.
Nice.
First
I
time
actually
it's ever
just
been
beat
released.
Secret of Mana 2 months ago for
That
the first
game's
time.
hard.
It's the
I
final
did
boss.
not like the PS4 port.
That's what everyone was saying.
Yeah, I
played it on
What was
Super
bad?
Nintendo.
What was off
Okay.
about
Straight
it?
up card, yeah.
No, so the two things that people were going on about were the music being bad, which I totally agree on, and not everybody was on board with the graphical art style changes, which I didn't think was that bad. I mean, I know people are mixed on Link's Awakening, but it's kind of the same thing with the whole plastic chibi type thing, like just miniaturized.
I'm not a
Like they
huge
look
fan
like
of that.
toys.
I wasn't a huge fan of that art style either for Link's Awakening, but I'm still going to get it. Like
Oh yeah,
I
it
love
definitely
the
looks
game.
like they're definitely putting a lot into it.
I might get that.
It being $60
I pre-ordered
is
it.
a bit much.
Is
but
it?
Sorry.
Of course it is.
I'll
It's a
bounce my
Nintendo
leg.
title.
It's all good.
I'm moving the mics.
No, I'm with you though on Earthbound though. Like I played it and I loved it, but it was just kind of like it wasn't bad. It wasn't
charming.
bad.
It was goofy, it was charming.
It's not one of those games that ages well if you play it more than 2 or 3 times, I feel.
Well, so like what I liked about it was how like childlike it was, but it was just kind of like I don't know. It was cute. It was very cute. and
I will admit that it's not great for replays, and it can be grindy at times, especially if you're trying to get the best equipment for everybody. Like I think there's something like we have to face. It's in one of the underground areas where you have to fight one of the Starmen to get a drop for Pooh, because normally Pooh can't equip weapons in anything. I think you get 2 of them through normal gameplay or just finding stuff in the overworld. But his sword, you have to get through a random weapon, random enemy encounter.
When I was playing through it the first time, I read that. I was like, oh, that'll be fun to try to do.
1 in 125 chance
like,
to get.
I was like,
if you're lucky.
I'm good with not doing that.
Yeah, that's what most people thought. The sad thing is there's actually a weapon like that for every character, but you don't need them as badly as you would for him.
I did think I liked. I don't know. I keep saying how charming it was, but it really feels that way. Like the whole the sense of humor, I think, was the best part of Earthbound by far. Like I adored it's like weird, like nonsensical, almost like
I don't want to say
surreal.
it was super great. I think the more accurate term would be ahead of its time.
I would say, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
At least in regards to like the way the dialogue was written for that sort of game back then, it definitely felt a lot less robotic.
The way it was translated too.
It felt like how people talk, you know?
I was telling, because I want to do an episode on Earthbound, so I don't want to stick on it too long. But what the part that like really got me, because like I had a friend play it for the first time as well. I beat it for the first time last year, and my friend, our friend Kinsey, Andrew, he was on the episode for Metal Arms. For those who remember that episode a year or two ago, but he played it for the first time and like adored it. It was one of his favorite games ever. I didn't get the same thing, but the ending of it was really cool because the whole game feels like you're a kid going out on an adventure and like with your friends, like you're going out to play with them in the woods. You use your imagination, you come up with all this crazy stuff, and then at the very end of the day, just like at the very end of the game, you come home to your mom. You come back home and she asks, "Oh, how was your day? What did you do today?" And it's like, for such a crazy adventure, that's a really nonchalant ending. And so when I first played it, I was like, that feels like a lot like a kid. You know, like, what do you tell your mom when you're like 8 years old and going around playing outside? You're like, oh, I was a Power Ranger and we like fought, you know, we saved Zordon and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with it, but at the same time, Mother 3 definitely did not... it had a change in focus in regard. It definitely wanted to be a stronger narrative. Like, it definitely saw what RPGs were doing since Earthbound came out and said, I want to do that too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, are you going to Too Many Games this year?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
So we keep bringing it up. I guess I haven't really said it on mic yet. Too Many Games is a convention local to us. It's probably one of the larger video game conventions in our area. So yeah, I'm going and you're going one day.
Yes.
Vince is going now.
Saturday.
We're recording.
Tiny phallus.
Tiny phallus. Right. But all right. So what's your name, man? Arthur. So go ahead and hop on mic.
It's about.
Sorry, what?
What's it about?
We were just talking about Earthbound for a little bit.
Earthbound?
Yeah. But what did you get? What did you get in free video game day? I gotta ask. Vincent got God of War. Oh, you got a PS4 game as well.
Yep.
Injustice: Gods Among Us. Are you a fighting game fan? Eh? Did you?
So good.
Oh, is there more stuff in it besides just the game?
Yeah, I think it's just more just stuff that everybody gets. Yeah, I'm not surprised. They have way extras of those.
Fidget spinner.
Figured enough said about that.
Who doesn't want a fidget spinner? I'm just kidding.
I remember like 3 years ago, those things were huge.
Oh my god, dude! I actually had a
Last
fidget.
year it was like stickers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Glow stick.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys get last year?
Well, last year.
I was not here last year.
Last year I had a PSP game.
PSP? Nice.
Actually, that would be something good. I don't have a lot of those.
Creed.
I was talking to this guy in line before we started recording TISO about like weird things like people like to collect. He has a thing where he wants to collect 100 Superman 64 cartridges just because. Like, why not? Right?
Buy them off Amazon, control the market, jack up the price.
Flood the market.
I mean, that's what people thought they were trying to do. I have a guy that, this isn't me, but it is actually someone I know that's trying to do this. He's trying to collect games that are somehow tied to a tragedy around the game's release. I guess I can name an example with this. Are any of you familiar with Blasto for the PlayStation 1?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
so
not,
you're probably
actually.
also aware of the fact that the main character was voiced by Phil Hartman.
Oh shit!
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the guy who
Simpsons
was,
and such.
Troy McClure.
and then his wife murdered him.
Yep.
That's basically what that boiled down to. That happened right around when that game came out.
98,
And
yeah.
They were planning on making a franchise out of it, but they couldn't go on because basically the whole center of the operation revolved around him, and it was just like they couldn't go on without him. It
That's
sucked.
crazy.
There are a couple of other like sports games and other things revolving around that sort of thing. It's weird and maybe a little morbid, but that seems to be the gimmick.
I love. What would you say you have a gimmick with what you collect? Like, I don't have anything specific, but do you have anything like that you go for?
I got collecting for like certain companies or certain producers. Like, I'm a big fan of the Monolith Soft Company RPGs, Student 51. I think I got most of the stuff that they've released in English, but missing a couple of things here and there. Really excited for No More Heroes 3, by the way. Can we get Travis in Smash, please?
I was excited they have Banjo-Kazooie now.
I want Dante in Smash.
Right? Yeah, from Devil May Cry.
Right, in between Dante or Goku.
Goku. Would that
But
fit?
you got Goku. You got the Dragon Quest reps.
That's a ripoff.
It's the same artist. Get out of here.
Yeah, it is a ripoff of basically Goku. Goku have basically, you can change the Super Saiyan if you basically have your power up. And it's like Joker when he changed to his persona.
Okay.
Yeah, you want him for Japan wants Goku for the same reason we want SpongeBob. Get out of here.
Dude, SpongeBob and Smash would be
Oh
balls.
my God! Imagine Patrick's super.
That would be disappointment.
What? What are you talking about? He'll wear pink.
Oh, God.
Just like yellow.
One of his
pink.
one of his costumes will be him wearing the squeaky boots.
Oh, SpongeBob, can you help me? Hi, Sponge.
Oh yeah, speaking of SpongeBob, who saw that coming out of nowhere? The Battle for Bikini Bottom remake.
SpongeBob games, I feel like, are like secretly decent. I have not played a whole bunch, but my little brother played a bunch when he was little.
Good.
Oh my God, there was this one.
That was the one that people keep clamoring about, though.
There was this one that I played. My cousin had it for the computer. I forget what it was called. I think it was Operation Krabby Patty. I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my, that. It's always so strange to me when like they take a property that you don't expect to like find an interesting game premise and they find a way to make it work. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all the SpongeBob games are great, but like, it's still like not the worst.
Still SpongeBob.
It's still SpongeBob.
The licensed game is a double-edged sword, and quite frankly, I kind of miss it. Like, you definitely get some stinkers, but every once in a while, you get a good one. Like, you get your Chronicles of Riddick for the Xbox. You get your GoldenEye for the N64.
We'll talk about E3, yeah. We'll jump back to E3. So we were the last thing we were on was Xbox One, but we can jump around. What interested you about E3?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be Xbox. Literally anything.
Well, I should jump in and talk about all of the E3 events. Let's say this. Everybody, even I'm basically a PlayStation fan.
I am too. I'm a Sony fanboy.
Xbox have
Unashamed.
some toxic people. They want more excuses, more trailers. And to be honest, I don't want Xbox to be selfish. I want them to basically be like us. But no, they're like, oh, give us more. And the fans were so happy about Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah.
He was being Cyberpunk. And I was like, okay, I like that. But only thing they did, they forgot the detail about the games. There was a lot of excuses of trailers over trailers over trailers. No updates about your console. Where's the updates about
I mean, they did say a little bit about Project Scarlet, but pretty much all they said, and I said it before on air, but I know you guys weren't here at the time. There's a solid state hard drive, which every console has now, but they're shooting for 120 FPS for the frame rate and an 8K resolution, which I don't really know how much more you need than 60 FPS personally, but that's not me insulting it. It's just like your eye can't perceive it.
It's overdue, and Xbox men want to be selfish, so let them be selfish. EA was trash.
Yeah, I didn't see.
I saw the conference; it was not that good.
I didn't see any.
People were mixed on probably the only good thing that came out of it, which was Star Wars Fallen Jedi.
And let me say this, and I was on Twitch, and they was like, the fans was like toxic. They were been trolling on Star Wars, because you know how EA are, trash service, trash making Star Wars games like Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. And let me say this, trash creating the ideas of creating the characters. Even I play sports games like basketball and stuff like that. Remember the company EA Big? I want them back. I don't like the trash new version of EA.
I know this is an EA, and I don't mean to interrupt, but did you see that 2K19 for NBA went down to $2.99?
Yeah, because of the NBA Finals.
Gotcha. Did you download that, or did you already have it?
I already have it.
Oh, man.
It's in my library.
Gotcha.
Now I'm jumping on Square. I think it was Square.
Is there anything that you before keep on dumping? But is there anything you did like about anything so far?
I did like they was talking about Avengers. I was so happy.
Even though they didn't show any gameplay.
They showed.
Yeah, that was the problem I had with the trailer. Like, they definitely should. No, you have to actually go back and watch people playing the game after the conference. Like, they just showed a pre-rendered trailer.
But there is gameplay of it.
They just showed a pre-rendered trailer, and then you see gameplay like hours later. It's just like, where was this? Show this.
Yeah, it makes more sense. That would be. I see. I didn't even get to see any gameplay. Did it look good though?
Yes,
yeah,
it did.
It did, and I liked it. And I like the Ubisoft about the updates about Division. I love Division. I've been trying to get my stronghold already. I'm getting my. Can I say my word anyway? I got my ass kicked. So much I got destroyed of the stronghold, and I can't even defend myself. So I liked it, and I like the Ghost Recon, and it showed me if you pre-order the game, you get to try out the battle early.
Did you? What did you think of the Watch Dogs thing?
Watch Dogs, they stepped up the game from previous 2 games.
Did you hear anything about Watch Dogs with it?
I haven't. I haven't really played the first 2.
I couldn't get into the first one, but
Okay,
the
first one was good.
What the big thing that they're promoting this time is that you can take control of any NPC, period. And while it's kind of cool, I don't know how you would make that gameplay interesting, except for like just a giant Grand Theft Auto sandbox where you're just fucking with people just for the sake of it.
Right, and I'm saying this, and you could hide. In the third one, you could basically assemble your team. You could hide. Basically, I saw a trailer of basically an old lady basically kill somebody. I was like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, I can hire an old lady to do my dirty job. Wow. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, so if you need to like assassinate someone, you can just take over an old woman and beat the shit out of the person that you have to assassinate. So there's gonna be a lot of memes coming out of it. I'm anticipating, right?
Let's wait for the meme, people.
Right.
And when E3, when I saw it, I was like, yep, I think I like it. And then I like the new Roller Champ. I think it was called Roller Champ. It's basically basketball/football. So I'm like, okay, I like it. I like the creation inside what they doing. I saw the gameplay. It was good. It was not that bad.
All right, so, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Well, it was nice meeting you. Take care.
Arthur, right? Yeah. If you you'll hear it on the podcast probably in a week or 2. All right. What's up, Tiso? Oh, it's called Still Loading. Here, you got a business card. Yeah, it's called Still Loading. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. So,
hey, how you doing?
not too bad, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
What'd you end up getting?
I got some.
My wife's here.
Got some Super Nintendo games.
You got some Super Nintendo games?
Yeah, I got some Super Nintendo games. Got a free 64 game Wave Race. I didn't have that in my collection, so I was happy to go with the 64 one. I got Wolfchild for Super Nintendo, Pieces.
Never even heard of Wolfchild.
It's like a platformer where a guy turns into a wolf.
Okay.
Who makes it?
I don't remember. I can look right now.
All right, he'll be back. All right, what's up, Vince?
Well, no, you were continuing to talk about E3.
Do you prefer Vince or Vincent?
Vince is fine.
Vince is fine? All right, Tisa's coming back. But yeah, I have a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of notes on E3. I have the Nintendo thing, talking about Bethesda, talking about Ubisoft, which we kind of did. The only thing that interested me with Ubisoft was the whole Watch Dogs thing.
Outside of Doom Eternal, can we just not talk about Bethesda? You can make a drinking game out of that.
What about Wolfenstein?
I mean, we already knew it was coming. They didn't show us anything that we didn't already know. I'm just talking about like the audience, man.
What specifically? Like the audience, like
how
as
about
in
the
who's...
Fallout 70 when they were showing Fallout 76?
Oh,
they were getting excited over basic stuff that should have already been in the game. Like, I don't know if they were drunk or shills or both. It just felt like they were going nuts over the most benign stuff.
So here's a controversial opinion. I don't like Bethesda RPGs.
Me either.
Thank you.
I don't see how that's controversial.
considering
I liked Fallout before Fallout 4. I mean,
considering
I don't
Skyrim is
hate
like
Skyrim.
I mean, when Skyrim came out, people were just like jizzing all over the place.
made,
They were so happy about it.
Who made Fable? Was that Ubisoft?
No, that was not.
Fable is Microsoft directly.
Yeah, Peter Molyneux, I think, is the director.
Yeah,
of
but
those.
that is technically made by Microsoft Game Studios, or was.
Anyway, sorry.
Did you see E3 at all?
I saw a little bit of E3. I saw the Microsoft conference. That was the only thing that I really cared about. I saw the Devolver E3 because their stuff has been funny on point for like 3 years now, and I saw the Nintendo one. I had more, like I said, I had more interest in the Microsoft one. Square, whatever. I saw a little bit of Square stuff because I wanted to see the Avengers gameplay.
Final Fantasy VIII remake.
That I'm surprisingly
I'm glad
like
that it exists.
Yeah,
You mean a remaster? Because it's not a remake.
Yeah,
Remaster.
I don't. Well, no. Here's the thing, though. You know about the whole thing with why Final Fantasy VIII never actually got reported to beyond what it was back in the day, right?
No, I don't. I don't know.
They lost the master code. They couldn't port it.
Oh, is that really what happened?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's one of those. Yeah.
It's kind of like what they
So,
did with Kingdom Hearts. Yeah,
that's
where they
literally what they're doing.
when they did the remaster, they had to do it all from scratch.
Yes.
That's crazy. No, I was gonna say is I don't like Bethesda games like at all. I like some things, like I didn't mind Dishonored. I know, but they didn't develop it, right? They published Dishonored, right?
That's their whole build now. Is like they want to get publishing publishers to have games that appeal to a wider range instead of just their core RPG element. So that's why you see like the Evil within them and Doom and all that other stuff.
Doom is bailing them out so hard right now.
Doom. I played the Doom 2016 remake and I loved it. I
Doom
loved
Eternal
it
looked
so
like more
much.
the same, and it
I'm
looks
all for
amazing. But that's the thing, though. I was ready to write off Bethesda completely, and then Doom. It was like, your shooters are bailing you out hard right now.
I mean, it's the same thing with like EA though. The only reason they're still in business because they have sports games. Like all their other stuff is like consistently like trashed on. Like their Star Wars franchise isn't making them that much money. Well,
I don't know. This new one looks really good.
Does it?
Yeah.
I want to see more gameplay. I'm still not sold. It's more just getting burned out by EA in general. Like the previous guys said, it was just burned out by their previous practices, and they've yet to prove themselves with the license. So
I did a whole
I'm ready to
episode.
be impressed.
I did a whole episode recently on Anthem when that came out. And so, did you guys read the article that came out from?
I read the one for the Jason Schreier did
Yeah.
on Kotaku? Yeah,
Did
I read
you see that at all?
I didn't read the article. I haven't really paid attention to Anthem other than I know that it's like a big gaming like.
Admittedly, I've never
mess
played
up for
Anthem
it.
other than it was like a Destiny ripoff and I didn't care about it. I more paid attention to what went wrong.
Yeah.
So it was that article. It was a couple of YouTube videos that were talking about
well,
it. It was
what's
just like, how?
Well, what's crazy about how it flopped was that it had surprisingly very little to do with EA. It was a lot of stuff within BioWare where they just fucked themselves over like awfully.
Well, they thought they could do a thing. It didn't work out. And it bit them for it.
I mean, didn't they prove that they couldn't do stuff now after Mass Effect debacle?
It was.
Well, that was a different. If you're talking about Andromeda, that was a different part of BioWare than who made the main trilogy. But regardless, you're not wrong.
Well, like, so the reason Anthem, like, I'm going to try to, like, keep it brief because everyone who's listens to it, but, like, they came up with the idea for, like, the whole jetpack open world game. No one was willing to make decisions, though. Like, they kept restarting from scratch every time something would go wrong. And they didn't have a strong leader to basically say, all right, we need to start making decisions now about what we're going to keep, what we're going to get rid of, and what's going to work and what we know is not going to work. And it never happened. So the actual development of the game, like not pre-production, the development of the game didn't start until 18 months before release. And so you have a game that scale trying to be built within a year and a half, you're doomed for failure.
That was another thing that people were talking about in regards to what went wrong, was the fact that they thought that they could develop the game after it came out and build upon it. So they were literally going to release an unfinished product.
Pretty much, and that's unfortunately what game developers do now. They just release unfinished games. Bethesda, as we were talking about before, with like Fallout 76, where it's like broken beyond all belief.
Yeah, you can't be congratulated for giving you basic multiplayer features.
That's
Right?
what I was going on about.
This
It's
is
like,
what you
have
promised
these
us.
shells.
Oh my god. What else did you guys like at E3 though?
I mean, me personally, I like the Microsoft conference, even though I can recognize that they bloat their conferences too long. But I mean, like, you're going to complain.
The lack of Sony probably helped in that regard.
Yeah. They actually wanted Sony to come back too. Like apparently,
I'm sure half of what Microsoft talked about was going to be in a Sony conference.
It
seemed a little
all
weird
games.
that Microsoft was talking about, even if it was ever so briefly, Tales of Arise. I mean, I like Tales, but that doesn't seem like a Microsoft thing.
That's much more of a Sony thing because they have more JRPGs and whatnot.
My thing with like the whole Sony and the Microsoft thing is like, yeah, I mean, if Sony wasn't there for a press conference, that's really a big shocker because they're trying to do this whole Nintendo thing with their Play Now or Play whatever.
None of them have been good.
And none of them has been good. And the thing with me, at least, as far as Sony is concerned, it's not really a shocker when they go to E3 and show off games because, like, at the end of the day, all their exclusives, for the most part, are generally well received. So why would I be excited or hyped up when they show something that's really cool when a year later it's going to be $20 digitally on sale? So, like, there's no reason for me to get hyped.
Yeah,
whereas Microsoft, they're doing more things than just releasing games. They're doing, like, services. I'm a PC gamer more now.
Yeah.
I do actually really like the fact that they are starting to. Microsoft is finally starting to refocus on the PC market.
Yeah.
That's been something they've been neglecting
And I like
the entire
and
generation.
I like the fact now that, for example, like I just subscribed to their PC Ultimate Game.
Yeah.
Because I want to try it. It's funny how now I can legitimately circumvent Epic Game Store to play Metro Exodus on my PC because of Microsoft. I just think that's hilarious.
I one of the people I work with, he's not been on the show before, but one of the people I work with, he was saying that Microsoft might kill the like not kill it in a bad way, but like do really well next generation, just because like they're setting up. They bombed in Xbox, not bombed, but they didn't do nearly as well in Xbox this generation as they did in the previous. So they're just setting everything up to like they're trying to predict like this generation's screwed. Let's predict what's going to happen next, and then go for broke.
Yeah.
And it seems like what they're doing is going in the same direction as what the market's going and what the
they're
industry's
doing a lot
going.
of future-proof stuff. They're all about the consumer. They want to do backwards compatibility. They want all your games from your previous devices to work. So even though they just announced like backwards compatibility is ending on the one, it's only because they're now focusing those same type of services and getting newer games on the Scarlet.
Yeah. Whatever they haven't announced the name
Find
yet,
a
but
game on your Xbox One or Scarlet, and you're able to like play it anywhere. You can play it on like your tablet or your PC. You can save your progress. It's really cool to play like Gears 5 on your Xbox in one room, and then like a day later go upstairs to your PC and just start playing where you left off. Like that's cool
actually
concept.
really cool. So this is nice to hear because like I'm so like I've realized now like I just turned 30 this year and I'm becoming an old man so rapidly that I'm like change is bad. Give me my cartridges again. And it's nice to hear kind of like some optimistic viewpoints of just about the consoles coming up, the console generation, because I'm not
terribly excited for PS5.
So, like, I don't want something that's consistent, like, that you can't turn off of being online. Like, I hate how much, like, almost DRM is involved with that. But at the same time, I want that option because, it, like you were saying, it allows so much, like, so many opportunities, so many possibilities of what you could do with that console. Just switching from, like playing... or I was going to say playing Surface, but, you know, like, from a controller to a tablet to your PC to whatever you really want to play it on. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and I'm like, unfortunately, Sony doesn't really have anything that really can compete with that. They've kind of regressed ever since they kind of won this console generation.
They've grown complacent.
Yeah, they've grown complacent, and their policies have become questionable, such as like mature content and whatnot. You know,
let's
all that.
not tiptoe around the subject. They've been pretty trash.
What
with
the mature content thing?
So,
I didn't hear about this.
Pretty much now they're forced, like even in Japan, they're kind of forcing censorship on a lot of stuff. So
really?
You see something like Senran Kagura, which is, what the market is for. It's for the people that want to, have sexy anime girls and whatnot. Well, now all of a sudden you're forcing Japanese developers to censor their game in their own home country where their culture is revolved around that, and less lax on that versus us where we're all about
very
guns,
uptight
guns,
about
guns,
it,
and gore and all of that stuff. But now, like, it's kind of ironic when you have Nintendo that's like, oh yeah, man, show me the tits. And has no problem with it, too.
I never thought I would hear Nintendo and tits in the same sentence, but they're...
SNK, Heron Heroes Frenzy.
There we have it.
My waifu game.
So I'm not really excited for the PlayStation. Because, I mean, like, again, I'm sure, like, they'll have great games. Death Stranding looks great. I don't care. I'll play it in a year.
I mean, it's like... with Kojima specifically, he's in a weird... not weird in a bad way, but like he's an interesting like auteur kind of game developer because like he just like the ideas he goes into, he crams a lot of large ideas into like unassuming packages. Like
now, whether or not they work out is a different subject.
Yeah,
altogether.
I mean, so I played the first Metal Gear Solid literally for the first time about 2 years ago. Like I'm a late.
Are you talking about the PlayStation?
PS1, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you never played it?
Never
Okay,
played
you
it
said
before.
Metal Gear, so I could have been referencing the NES ones.
No, Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
And I remember playing it, and I was just surprised by how much political commentary was. Granted, it was a little dated because it came out in the 90s, so it was very much steeped in that time. But then a lot of it still kind of relates to today. And apparently...
oh, no, there's a lot more relatable stuff.
I heard the second one is even more... That's what everyone keeps saying.
More relevant nowadays.
Which I have not played yet.
Especially
That's
with,
the
like,
next
the
thing.
whole internet surveillance and America is watching you and just... It goes into a lot more detail, particularly with the hallucinations with the general when Raiden's interacting with them, but I won't go into too much detail about that.
Yeah,
but regardless, it is all there.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, so I want to make sure that I don't...
Yeah,
no spoilers.
That's why I was tiptoeing around it.
But I loved it. I was actually really surprised. Like, one thing I love about one of my favorite things to look for in video games in general is where you find really advanced mechanics or really advanced concepts, in old games. So, like, Metal Gear Solid, I was surprised by the attention to detail about how many weird things you could do that, like, if you just you wouldn't know it if you didn't do it type of thing. Mm-hmm. A better example of it is Simon's Quest 2, or sorry, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. The whole day and night cycle and how the world changes depending if it's day or night, which when I think about that, like that to me, that seems like a very modern idea. You don't see that in a lot of old games, but they did it in freaking 87, 88, whenever that game came out. I don't know off the top of my head. But that's a really modern concept that you just don't see very often. So like I love games that are like that. I write down times for when I need to edit stuff, so that way it makes it easier for me when I'm going through the cut.
Oh, incidentally, intercut, Wolfchild from Virgin Games.
Slice that in.
Yeah, I could have sworn.
Wolfchild.
Yeah, I could have sworn Interplay had something to do with it, but no, it was Virgin Games.
I mean, I know this is not an old game by any means, but it took the atmosphere of like the 8-bit, 16-bit with The Messenger. Have you ever played that?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't played
like
it, but
that
I wanted to.
I loved it how you could go between 8-bit and 16-bit through the portals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine doing that on the Super Nintendo to NES. Like, that would just be absolutely
Have
mind-blowing.
any of you played Axiom Verge?
Yes. He told me about that, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's more of a game where you're taking the graphics of that game and glitching them out using game mechanics. I like that.
Did you play Axiom Verge?
I never played Axiom Verge. I haven't really played too many Metrovanias. I only played,
It's more Metroid than anything. There's
Oh
no
my God,
RPG
yeah.
aspects to this.
I can't get into Dead
Everyone
Cells,
keeps
though.
talking
No,
about
I'm bad at it.
Hollow
Hollow
I'm
Knight.
bad at it.
Yes, you
hard.
should play Hollow Knight.
I hear it's
You know
so
why
good.
you should play Hollow Knight?
Why?
Because I'm an NPC in that game.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
That's,
But no,
now I gotta play it.
aside from the game is beautiful. It's great.
I need
The
to give it a
surprise
shot.
sequel that's coming out when it was supposed to originally be just a big DLC adventure for it. So like they
that's a
surprised
roguelike
us.
for you.
The game is great. You need to play it.
That's awesome.
Hollow Knight.
I hear nothing but great things about that game.
For the Messenger, sorry?
Hollow Knight.
Hollow. I've been meaning to.
Yeah.
I've heard, like...
It's like I think it's like $8 now.
There's some
it's
stuff
not that
going on.
expensive either.
It's like digital.
I
I
think
don't
it's
want
just the base
digital
game
with
because
you.
they do have a lot of deals. There's at least 3 iterations of DLC with Hollow Knight right now, including one coming out not too long from now.
I always get like the basic bitch version of like everything.
And
then if I
speaking
like
of
it enough-
Metroidvanias, though, I'm excited for the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Have you played Ori? Have you? Oh my God! It's like so. Have you either of you guys
Not
played
my
Ori?
favorite Metroidvania, but definitely the most
Ori and the
boring.
Blind Forest.
I have it. I only played like 5 seconds of it.
The intro of that game makes me cry so much. It's like the first 10 minutes of Up. It just like it tears your heart out, like so much, so bad. Oh my God! And then the ending's really emotional too. I don't know. I loved that game. I loved it so much.
I definitely want to play the sequel, so I'm gonna get around to playing the first one.
The
I have
original?
the definitive version on Xbox One.
The definitive version is the way to go too, because there's like different power ups and stuff that you don't get in the original one. Like you can't even I think like the air dash is not in the original game or something like that, and that makes it so much easier to like navigate around a bunch of different parts of the game that are like, it's like the game itself is like super tight platforming, which is what I like about it, because it's a Metroidvania, but at the same time it's like, it's not like, I love Super Metroid, for example, but the platforming isn't necessarily that tight. It's just kind of more of like an exploratory type of thing. This is like exploratory, but also at the same time, there's very tight platforming mechanics that you have to do. It's a great game. Actually, I want to go home and replay that right now. But all right, I don't know what else. What else did I have on E3? I guess we can finally move into Nintendo. I mean, that's what everyone loved about Nintendo won E3 this year, I'd argue.
I don't know.
No?
I feel like
I don't think for me.
Microsoft did good, but I don't feel like Nintendo winning is a hard step to hurdle over.
Yeah.
At least compared to everybody else.
I guess you're right, considering the E3 was a little bit weaker from the other competitors this year.
Not to say they didn't announce things I wanted, though. The Contra game.
Contra Collection?
Yeah.
Well, there was a new random Contra game that they gave.
Oh, really?
Half the people that were watching it didn't even know it was a Contra game until I saw the giant robot in the background. It plays like Neo Contra. Have you ever played that on PlayStation 2?
No, I haven't.
That's what it looks like. That's why it's like that instead of the typical 2D thing. They did have some 2D things in there, but that's the reason why it was like the whole third-person perspective, shooting all around you type thing.
I think for me it was them, I guess, confirming to have faith in announcing No More Heroes 3. I mean, obviously, I felt like that was going to be made because of Travis Strikes Back, but I'm glad that they...
Have you played it all the way to the end?
I never played...
I haven't played any of the No Heroes games, actually.
Okay.
I haven't played Travis Strikes Back. I do know they updated some...
Well, that's DLC. Well, that was DLC related.
So I know they updated that for like lore purposes, so I'm really excited for that type of thing.
If none of you care, I'll just say what it is.
Well, no, I do. I mean, I do care for the spoil because I do want.
No, it isn't story related. It's teaser related. Okay, spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Anyway,
I thought you just said it wasn't going to be spoilers.
it's not related to the game. It's to the story of the game.
Stop lying to me.
Okay, at the very, very, very end of the game, after the credits roll, you get put into a box where you think it's like you play a fighting game. It's like training mode or whatever. But it's from the perspective like you're playing a main No More Heroes game and you see a dummy in front of you. You walk up to it and you try to hit it. It's like, no. You're not allowed to do that yet. This game is still in development. Oh!
Is that was the trailer? That's how they teased it?
No. That was the way of them acknowledging that No More Heroes 3 is a thing.
Yeah, No More Heroes 3 trailer is weird. I don't understand what was going on. It's just
you're talking about the E3 one?
Yeah, the E3 one.
That was just more proof of concept / showing something neat.
What else did I... Wait, so I'm confused now. Was the thing you described an E3 trailer?
No. That was in the game itself. That was in Travis Strikes Again.
Oh,
I guess they were trying to pull like a Silent Hills type of thing. Like, oh yeah, you're playing this random demo. What is it?
Well, no. You're placed in an environment that has nothing to do with the game. It just kind of puts yourself in a more traditional No More Heroes control setting because you play Travis Strikes Again. It's an over-the-top action game from the bird's eye perspective. I was trying to get my words right. Where otherwise the normal games are hack and slash.
Okay,
so the game puts you in the hack and slash perspective for the first time in the game to tease the fact that the next mainline game is existing. That's
kind of
basically
mean.
what it was.
That's kind of funny, though. I was looking forward to... Frank brought it up earlier when he stopped by to say hi, but the Breath of the Wild sequel that's been announced for in development.
Surprising. The fact that they're actually doing a direct sequel, it's not surprising to do a direct sequel.
No, it is. The only other time they've done it was with Majora's Mask and Zelda 2 for the NES.
Would you say...
I would say Link Between Worlds.
No, well, Link Between Worlds, I would say, is a spiritual successor to Link to the Past.
Sequel.
But I was going to say a direct sequel would be Wind Waker into the DS game.
No, if you're talking about the DS games, that is not the same Link.
It has all the same characters, though.
It's not the same ones.
No, Phantom Hourglass goes into
Yeah, it's a direct sequel.
Phantom Hourglass to Spirit Tracks is a different generation.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Wind Waker...
Wind Waker into Phantom Glass is the same people.
That's what I thought. It's the same character. It's the same
I'm surprised
Link.
they're doing it. So when they didn't really give a release date as to when this
Obviously not, but they're probably shooting for holiday 2020. It's the same engine.
What's the gap between Zelda games being released on a console level?
Well, this
during
is
the
the
main
first-
story.
I mean, it really
Generation.
just depends. I mean,
yeah, so this seems to be
Typically, but
pretty. This
typically
seems to be pretty
it's
fast.
I
brand
mean,
new
well, no,
games,
it
though.
really just depends though. So if you think about it, you have the first two games. I don't know. I think they're only like a year or two apart. Original Zelda and
yeah.
Zelda 2.
They're only a year
But
apart.
those are also like 8-bit games. It's a lot smaller teams. Link to the Past was the only Zelda on Super Nintendo. No, well, there was that Satellaview Zelda game that was
That doesn't really.
but that, like I don't know if you count that. 64 had two with Ocarina of Time and Majora's, and the only reason Majora's existed because I'm pretty sure the one guy the director of the game was challenged to make a Zelda game in like under a year or something like that.
I can't
And-
believe. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's how it came to be, which is nuts because that game's crazy complicated.
I can't believe that you left out the biggest one.
Well, like
3 on the CDI, the best ones ever.
I thought you were going to yell at me for not mentioning Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, or
Now, the CDIs are very special. They have their part in history. They're very rare, very good games.
we're trying to get. So it's not guaranteed, and it might be a little bit of a spoiler for Mario Month. We're trying to get a CDI so we can play Hotel Mario for Mario Month. Because last year we did Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3 in World. So this year we want to do the offshoot ones, the ones that are a little bit off kilt. We're not going to announce. I won't announce any of them on mic. But Hotel Mario is a distinct possibility if we can get a CDI to actually try it out instead of. I don't want to just watch it on TV.
Do you have Hotel Mario?
He does. We just don't have a CDI.
I'm pretty
So-
sure they have a CDI.
Frank would probably
I
let us
saw
borrow
one in his
one.
basement. Yeah.
He'd probably let us borrow one.
Maybe. I'm
Like-
sure there need to be some kind of collateral. I don't know.
Well, I
Well, he
mean,
trusts us.
I would pay for it if it broke.
Yeah.
How much is the CDI worth?
It's probably not going to be worth much.
It's probably like 100
Because,
tops.
for example, like a 3DO is probably like to them like.
You'd be
130.
surprised
I
to
would
see
assume
at the mini CDI with the I don't even know what you would call them. The regular.
not the top loader, right?
Yeah. No, it's not the one that comes out at you, but yeah, the top loader, the smaller one.
Yeah.
That with the controller that kind of looks like Sega Genesis. They go online between like $200 to $300.
Really?
Yeah.
That's, I don't
And it's a shame because it's a terrible system.
I mean, that's how it is with collectors markets, though. Like games, just because something's valuable doesn't mean it's good. I mean, look at the Nintendo World Championships. It's 3 random levels, and they're fine. Like, it's not like it's really good. It's just there.
Speaking of that, I think your boy Pat the NES Punk is going to be at too many games.
Is it? I like Pat. I'm trying. I don't.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just remember we were talking about in the past. You're kind of like, I'm not the biggest fan.
It's just I don't like his videos that much. I mean, it's not that. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. I'm not trying to say they're bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
I hear you.
And like, to be fair, like, I love the AVGN, but like his videos have also like not aged as well for me. Like, I loved them when I was like a lot younger, and I still like them. I still go out of my way to watch them, but I don't laugh at them the same way that I did. So it's just, like,
The ones that were more informative are still good.
those are the ones that I like a lot.
Like Power Quest or Nintendo Power.
You mean
or
Sword
the
Quest?
Wizard,
Are you talking about Sword Quest? The
Sword Quest, yes.
quiet, we're recording.
Yeah, any of the ones where he's not being the nerd and he's just talking about what he knows and likes. Those are the ones that are always rewatchable.
There are a couple that like even
Like
when he's
hell, even some of the more recent ones aren't bad. Like Earthbound was good.
I really liked his one. This is not that recent, but it's more recent than some of his old ones. Is Big Rigs.
Yeah.
I loved his fake Big Rigs commercial so much. Oh my god, I was dying every time it makes me laugh every single time.
I don't like rental. The video
rental
thing
review.
he's doing.
I actually like those. I like people talk. I like.
See, the problem is I'm a fan of Red Letter Media, who does a similar thing, and
Okay.
they're a lot more entertaining than the group that James has, honestly.
I mean,
Like
to
if
each
you,
their
like
own
if
type
you
of thing.
either know what I'm talking about or aren't,
I know.
I would-
I've never listened to Red Letter Media, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, they have a lot of good round table discussions regarding like mostly bad movies, but that's what it feels like. That's what it felt like when I was watching it. It just felt like they were trying to ape them with like a third
I mean, but
charisma.
like everyone does that though. Like literally, like even this
It
podcast
feels
right
like
here.
it's something
There's a
he
million
doesn't
people
wanna
like.
do. That's what I
No,
guess.
I don't.
Okay. It
I
feels.
don't think it's anything he doesn't want to do because he's very
It's-
big
it's-
into like the movie stuff. I feel like that's
no,
more
I'm
of his
saying
main
it's
passion.
it's more of an idea that Screenwave probably told him to do.
I mean, well, no, he's been like before he
put his heart into it.
But before he was even the AVGN, he was making like horror films. So like his passion is movies, but he the video game thing was I mean, I don't know him
It
personally.
was always a side thing.
But it always was a side thing that grew into the main thing.
It's what we call in the business an accidental magnum opus, where you're passionate about something and then you make some one little thing on the side, and that's the thing you're known for, not the thing you want to be known for.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, I agree with you on that, but man, this line is still so long. It's crazy. All right, Justin. So this kid right here is the original host of the podcast with me. Life got in the way though, unfortunately. So Justin, hop on mic, man. What'd you end up getting?
So I chose Super Nintendo, and actually pretty surprised. Got a little Game Genie for the SNES.
What?
Oh wow!
So I was like,
I love hearing that crinkly bag in the mix right here. It's nice.
Now I definitely want to get a Super Nintendo bag.
Oh my god. You got a game? That was it. That was what was in there. Your free video game was a Game Genie.
Yep.
Let me see that. That's pretty cool. There should be a bunch of other free stuff in there too, right?
So there's a game cleaner, and then some like buttons and lollipops and stuff like that. But was not expecting a Game Genie, so it's pretty sweet.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, what we were just talking about E3. That's been pretty much our topic of conversation to like bring people in and out as we've been going along. Vince has been joining us for a little while now, just shooting the shit and whatnot.
I'll leave eventually.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. But so, did you watch any of E3 at all?
Mainly stuck to Nintendo because
You're a Nintendo
boy, little Nintendo fanboy like usual. But nothing like crazy. I mean, Breath of the Wild 2 was pretty sweet, but.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you like? Was there anything else you liked besides Breath of the Wild? For me, I was looking forward to Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
Like I am really excited.
I was afraid that they were going to spend too much time on that, but no, they skipped it because they knew it's coming out next week. So it's yeah.
I already have mine pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered the version that comes with a year of Nintendo, like the Nintendo Online, because it's an extra. So.
Oh, it's not the same thing as like what they did with the original game?
Well, no. So, Super Mario Maker 2, they added a lot more things to it, which is cool. But the
I was referring to the special edition.
Well, it's pretty much. It's not like there's anything extra coming with the game itself. But instead of having to pay $20 for a year online, you're only paying an extra $10.
Yeah, because that was the thing that was bugging people regarding the Nintendo Online, where you can't access the levels unless you have an account, which kind of sucks. But
I mean, it makes sense. If you can only play stuff online, then you pay for the online service.
Exactly
it's the same thing. Like I play.
Gonna do one with Pokemon.
I mean, I play NHL on my PS4, and I can't play online with other people unless I have PS Plus.
And the Plus subscription, you get a lot more from it, but you're talking at least $10 a month.
Oh yeah.
Or $20 a year, that's nothing.
No, yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm really looking forward to Mario Maker 2 just because I like actually watching people like create stuff on it.
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to what new things they're adding. I'm also looking forward to besides what people can create. I was watching like they had an invitational where they had people like blind relay races or blind races of it. And some of the stuff they added is stuff that's never been in another 2D Mario game. There was like these icicle spikes that you had to drop on. So it was like moving icicle blocks that would kill you if you were underneath it, but you can stand on top of them as they're falling. So it creates a really interesting, I don't know, just that creates a lot of different possibilities and a lot of annoyances because ice levels are awful. Spawn of Satan.
We should definitely play that during next month's Mario month.
Mario Maker or Mario Maker 2? Or both?
Both. Probably two, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude! We could I could throw that up on the YouTube channel. Just throw up and well, not throw up. But like we could each make levels and then make and then we have blind relay races on it. My brother is here. Hey Matt.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you got to get in line if you want a free game. I like your Howl's Moving Castle shirt, though. That's a cool design.
Were you about to say Cagliostro?
I was about to say Cagliostro. It's for those listeners who don't know, and actually I don't know why you would know. A running joke Justin and I have. Yeah. A running joke between Justin and I is we have a mutual friend named Andrew who he loves Lupin the Third in Castle of Cagliostro. But the first time I ever said it, it doesn't look like Castle of Cagliostro because there's a G in it. So I said Castle of Cagliostro. And I kept messing it up and kept, not on purpose either, and kept saying Castle of Cagliostro. So now every time I have it, I know to say Cagliostro, but I purposely say Cagliostro in front of Andrew just to see what kind of anger he gets out of it.
We were just talking about it normally, so like we're just saying Cagliostro because that's how we thought we were supposed to say it.
This isn't Kinsey, is it?
No, it's his name's. He was on one episode of the podcast. He did the first episode of the 40 for 40 series way back like 2 years ago. It was on Abadox, which is like a weird like shooter game on the NES, where you're inside like a human body and you're like blowing up kidneys and shit. It was really weird. There's some weird stuff on the NES. Well, and just in video games in general.
But yeah, he was just sitting there like not saying anything because like he didn't want to be like that kind of person. Like, oh, it's Cagliostro, guys, not Cagliostro.
Yeah.
But we just kept saying it over and over again until he was just like, it's Cagliostro.
He was so mad. He was so mad. It was great. That movie's good, too.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's a really good movie. I like that movie a lot. I haven't watched a lot of Lupin movies, though. I've only ever seen like one or two.
They're surprisingly good, but I mean, Cagliostro is just...
I mean, it's Miyazaki, before he was Miyazaki. Well, before he became famous.
The traditional way that they separate eras of Lupin is what color his jacket is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more partial to the red jacket era, i.e. the somewhat more modern.
Yeah, I like the red jackets.
You would go green for older, and then there are one or two others.
Which one is
depending on
Cagliostro? Is he red or green or whatever? I don't know all the different colors.
I want to say green.
In the OVA, I believe he was green.
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, no. So Mario Maker, though, I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah.
Looking forward to all the different stuff with it.
I'm really hoping it makes an appearance on SGDQ.
Oh my God, I probably.
It'd be close.
Because SGDQ's starting early July, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be tight.
It'll be tight, but I think for like a good charity like event, like kind of like bonus event. Because
they might. There's a couple people who have early access to it, so they might.
Exactly.
Like if they know people in the community, they might do that. Especially who is it? The one speedrunner I really like, Grand Pooh Bear.
Grand.
Oh my God, he's awesome.
Exactly.
He's so funny too.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of people who had invitationals and whatnot, or who were invited to the invitational, I should say. So they might have early access already. He's giving away 4 Nintendo Switches, by the way, with free copies of Mario Maker 2. I'm pretty sure that just ended today, though, or yesterday.
I'm actually curious about the new versions of the Switch they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see what that Pro one's.
It seems like if they didn't say what it was now, that it's probably not going to come out this holiday season.
Exactly.
Unless they talk about it in September or something. I don't know.
Yep.
Now, as far as now I know they announced a lot at Nintendo's E3, but I'm more concerned about what they didn't announce, segueing into what you were just mentioning about the new version of the Switch. Where's Bayonetta 3? I know
they announced that at the launch,
I know
right?
they wanted to give the spotlight to Astral Chain, which looks good, by the way.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah,
I love Ice Climbers too.
The trailer actually sold me on it because
what
it
is Astral Chain? I haven't even heard of it yet.
What, Astral Chain?
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's the new
I also
Platinum
don't follow
game being made for the Switch. Now,
Ice Climbers 2.
It is a hack and slash, but there's a lot more puzzle solving and platforming elements that initially did not look like it was going to be there at all.
Yeah,
but
I
they
definitely
showed
want to grab that one.
It's like Stance, but you got him on a leash. I get one JoJo reference in there.
We were talking about before. Also, Luigi's Mansion 3 was announced.
I like it.
Well, not announced, but
just the release date.
The release
sorta.
date.
We know it's coming out this year. They didn't say a date yet for some reason.
Do you guys play Animal Crossing at all?
I used to.
I've never tried it.
Neither have I.
No.
I will say this about the new one. It looks like they're adding a lot.
Does it?
Like, I do definitely recall not being able to build stuff outdoors, not being able to put down furniture outdoors, pole vaulting. It's very
Pole
comfy.
vaulting?
Pole
Is that a
vaulting
thing?
over lakes. Like,
Oh
normally
my
you have
God.
to walk across a bridge. And
Why have I not played this game?
Island. Now you can just pole vault over the lake, which is convenient.
Oh, that's what's coming to. Oh, I need to buy this now. I've never even played a. I'm sold
It's
just from the
definitely
pole
more of a,
vaulting.
yeah, it's definitely more of a town building.
What a
thing
weird
if you're into
idea.
That sort of thing.
I do
But
actually like that
that's
stuff,
what
like
Animal Crossing
SimCity
always
type of
was.
things.
Yeah,
I-
I love
I-
the original SimCity.
I dig.
So much fun.
Did you?
Pop
You
and
played
I-
it on the
It's a little
SNES,
bit
right?
lighter this
Yeah.
time, like the 3DS version. It just looks like you're building a town from scratch.
Excuse me.
I don't mean to segue, but since we were just talking about SimCity, I did play that on the SNES. You know what's also really good, surprisingly good, that really threw me off guard when I was like 13, 14? The Sims busting out for Game Boy Advance.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There is.
It's pretty damn decent, believe it or not. I was looking, I'm like, this looks like garbage. And I played, I'm like, this is actually really fun.
There was a really interesting, I don't know, just segueing into games that like you don't think are going to be good, but actually end up being really good. There's an episode of a podcast I listen to called Retronauts. People who listen to this probably already know what Retronauts is, but retro gaming podcast and whatnot. They did an episode on stereotypical girl games, quote unquote, and there's like some of them that they listed were like things that you would not expect to enjoy at all, but are actually like really, really good. Oh my god, I'm blanking on one of the ones. Like Cooking Mama was an example. Like apparently those games are like surprisingly fun. Yeah, and stuff like that. Like things that are more stereotypically like geared towards women, but are actually like not just like here's a Barbie sim or something like that. Like they're actually like really interesting like game mechanic ideas. I'm blanking on one of them, but there was one where it was supposed to be like a Sims type of clone, but like the stuff you could do in it was just like really bizarre and outlandish type of thing. And I don't know. I'm being so vague with this that it's not helpful to anyone listening.
I have a bit of a more recent example if you're lost in your train of thought.
No, go for it.
Style Savvy for the 3DS.
That's the one that they were thinking of.
Yes.
I'm dead serious. It was Style Savvy. I couldn't think of it. They said that was like the guest they had on, and she was saying it was really like the way she was describing it was just really interesting.
And it's a first-party Nintendo title at that. I did not know that until I heard some pop song that was in the game in Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Smash Bros. Is such an interesting thing because obviously it's just fun because of all the different characters you can play as and whatnot, but I find it really interesting just how many like references and like self-referential things they pack into that game,
And so many
into
that
those
probably
games.
just like go completely under the radar. 'Cause
Exactly.
You're not even looking for it.
I definitely like what they added with the new one in regards to the All-Star mission substitutes. Like the way that they substitute characters for whatever they're referencing and
Right,
like
yeah.
either shrinking them or making them bigger or changing colors. Just making them as accurate to whatever it is they're trying to be as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a real clever idea.
Yeah,
to,
and they
like,
did that
reuse
for
it.
every sticker. So it was just like, okay, not bad. Do we care about the bird and the bear?
I do.
I mean, I'm not saying I
Banjo-Kazooie.
don't, but I'm just glad he's in so people can shut up about it.
Who doesn't want
I cared, I mean,
It was long overdue.
yeah, I think that was
I mean,
that was
granted,
more
Microsoft
like,
had to give permission
okay,
for
you got
it,
the
but-
Rare gang back together. That's nice.
It is curious to see like how they'll build on that. Like, hey, is this just Microsoft releasing the Rare?
They
team,
teased
and
it.
it's
They
like,
literally
hey,
teased
here
it.
you go, look.
Phil Spencer just casually had that little wink, wink, nudge, nudge mention on Twitter. It's just like, yo, Banjo-Kazooie and Smash will be great. And it was just like, oh, he was serious this whole time.
I don't know. I don't even like play Smash all that often. I have the new one. I just haven't felt the need to really like spend a lot of time with it because I'm bad at fighting games. I don't know if I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I'm awful, like absolutely awful at fighting games. It's not even.
There's this huge debate online, well, debate about anything online, but on different types of message boards and whatnot about whether Smash is considered a fighting game.
It's a fighting game.
It is.
And actually, I don't think so. I think it's more of a party game. And even what's
Well,
his name?
you can have both.
Well,
It's
maybe
not.
I'm pretty sure if you asked
even-
Sakurai, he would say no.
He even said no. He even confirmed it's not a fighting
Well, I
game.
don't care what he says. I don't. I know he made it, but I don't care. But yeah. So I don't know what else to talk about right now. I actually going through my whole thing. We talked about Nintendo. We talked about Ubisoft a little bit. Talked about Bethesda, which actually my first note was fuck Bethesda. I just didn't really say that. Yeah, except for Doom Eternal, because I love Doom Eternal. So yeah, it was fuck Bethesda, except for Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
The other stuff I wanted to talk about Keanu Reeves being a badass, which we already kind of did. Actually, here's something to talk about. The Playdate. Have you guys heard of this? Have you heard of it? It's a new handheld console coming out.
Oh,
I
I've
don't know
heard
too much about it,
this.
though.
It's by the same people, it's by a game developer named Panic Games. They made Firewatch, which is that indie survival game.
Yeah.
And so it's called Firewatch, or they made Firewatch, and it's a little handheld that it's a 1-bit game. And by 1-bit I mean it's like just black and white color. That's it.
So like a Game & Watch type.
Kind of, but it's going to be full. Like it's not going to be like one of those. It's going to be full motion. It's not going to be
a Tiger game.
Yeah, it's not going to be a Tiger game or like a Game & Watch. How it's one of those LCD electronic things. I can't remember what type
take
of.
it seriously. I just want to put my foot down on this right now. It
Really?
looks interesting, but the price,
I'm all for it. So it's $150.
Yeah.
The reason it's $150 though is that it comes with 12 games.
But you only get one at first.
You get one at first, but they release one every month.
You're buying it for the gimmick.
Yeah.
Which I am 100% okay with.
I'm not. Oh, the crank. I thought it was like, what, do you charge the battery
No,
with this?
you
Like,
actually-
No, I know. It's a gameplay element.
So there's a crank on the side of it, and you can actually the example I saw on their website is that it actually like rewinds gameplay and then fast forwards it, so you can do like weird things with like.
Okay.
It seemed really interesting. I was really curious as to like what you could do with what ideas you could do with it, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a really cool
that
idea.
I saw that was like worth his salt was the one that they're promoting. Forget his name, but the guy that created Ganamari Damacy.
Oh, really? He's going to be working on it.
They said he's working on a game, and they're shilling that he's working on a game to try to sell it. But regardless, I want to see it in action. This is not something I would pre-order. Just because it feels like it's being sold on the gimmick. It's not being sold for what it has.
But the thing is, though, is like I
pre-loaded
don't know.
games.
They're indie developers, so I trust their passion more than like it, because they're not doing it to make they're doing it to make money. Because why would you? But like at the same time, they're not expecting it to sell like gangbusters. So like I don't know. I'm optimistic about it, not necessarily saying it's going to be good.
No,
I'm not even cautiously optimistic because I'm going to
that would
fucking buy
probably be
it.
where I
So
stand
there's
on
no
it,
caution
personally.
about it. I'm buying it when it comes out.
I just
but-
see a lot. When I saw people discussing it online, it was definitely a lot of bullying, definitely a lot of fun and making fun of the crank, definitely a lot of the price point. I'm not gonna bully it too much.
a great
But it was
cosplay.
what it was.
Then no, I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. The last note I had on here that we have not touched on yet, which I'm surprised we haven't touched on yet, the Final Fantasy VII remake. We talked about Final Fantasy VIII a little bit, the remaster of 8, but the complete remake of 7.
We talked about 8 before 7.
Well, I love both. I like 7 more than 8 to be fair, but 8 I still have a giant soft
was just
spot
more
for.
significant just because it's getting a remake for details we talked about earlier. But again, I guess we can talk about 7.
Well, 8 was actually my favorite Final Fantasy for a long while, which is another controversial RPG. I feel like RPGs are the most
that's fair to
divisive
say.
games out there. Think about it. I don't like Bethesda RPGs, and that's a divisive comment to make.
You and I had that little playful argument at Max's game night
About what?
about how I was saying that what did I say? I said 10 has the best story in my opinion, and 12 has the best gameplay, and I think 8 is the worst. And you're like, no, you got that completely wrong. And we were just going, yeah.
Well, you do. No, I see 12 I couldn't get into because I hated the combat system, how they have this stupid if this line is green, that means you're attacking. If this line's red connected to this, they're attacking you. I'm like, why? I don't need all these extra lines. Just let me fight. This is I could, and then I didn't get too far into it, but you can create macros for each character so they can just fight themselves.
That's actually one thing about 12 I did like. The fact that, unlike in 13, where you just give them a paradigm and send them running, you can literally micromanage every single reactionary thing that your AI partners can do.
But at the same time, you could actually do that.
Like, if you don't want to do it, you can just do, like, some sort of pre-rendered sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I like that they give you the option.
I couldn't get into it, though. Like,
That's
to be
fair.
fair, I did not give it enough of a chance. I'm going to fully admit that because I only played maybe an hour or two of it. So that
Yeah.
in an RPG, that's like
that's
dipping your
Problem
that's
with-
like dipping
yeah,
your
that's
toe
kind of
into
the
a
problem because
pool.
the first hour or 3 focuses on Vaughn, and that's not a great start.
But I did like. But the reason I liked 8 so much is just because I liked the world. I thought 8 had a really fun and interesting world. Like 7's was good too, but it was so dystopian that it's good, but like you don't want to live in it. Like when you see Final 7's world, like it's not some place you'd really want to go see. 8 was so sunny and cheerful, and it made me want to go there.
And the story was pretty cool because you're a part of like that.
The seats were
academy.
fun.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I think one of the reasons, this is why my opinion is very flawed on 8, is because I played the whole thing with a strategy guide. So all the bullshit that people complain about, I didn't have to deal with because I knew about it beforehand.
I did too, but I still do not like the junctioning system.
I still don't know. The junction system I'm sort of okay with. The grinding, though.
Yeah,
like,
the draw.
Even if you know...
Yeah.
Drawing is the bad way to do it. Even if you know the good way to do it by converting things in the cards and then getting your spell points by
You still have to build up all those
converting
items
cards, you
to
still
do it.
gotta grind that.
I also, I mean, I only
Oh,
played...
and you can't draw cards on bosses. Like, for example,
I didn't
Aura,
get that whole
you have to
card
get that
game
off
and
of
seed.
Seifer via draw, so you have to do it the long way on him.
There's a couple. Well, like there's a couple hidden. You know how you have the random I forget like the springs where you can get like 5 fires. There's a bunch of aura ones that if you just fly around and get them, they refresh by the time you loop back around. So you
Again,
can
that's
easily
more
max
of-
out on 99 auras.
Yeah,
like,
that's more
like-
along the lines
but
of
it's
having
late
a strategy
game.
guide to know all that.
Exactly.
It was definitely very not. It was
They
definitely
were
very
they were all
anti-user-friendly.
hidden. I will say that they were all hidden. So there's no way you would have known about it otherwise.
Now you want a controversial opinion? Final Fantasy 13-2. I love that game.
Really?
I don't
It's
hate
one
it.
of my favorites.
I like it better than 13.
I don't mind Final Fantasy 13. I don't. Or either any of them, honestly.
Yeah, I played all 3, completed them.
Yeah, me too. I don't mind it.
I did not like the characters. The setting was kind of interesting, but other than maybe Snow, who was the only real person that really had a reason to be there.
It's better than the original 14.
Yeah.
The original 14, not
Yeah.
A Realm Reborn.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
yeah,
the
yeah.
original.
Yeah.
You're not
That's
wrong.
funny.
I mean, I'll be basic. My favorite's 6.
6 is really good.
I don't get the hype for 4.
My favorite is, numeral 12, not numeral tactics for PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also an
Tactics is
easy.
awesome.
That's an easy thing to say, but I agree.
Back to 7 though.
Back to 7.
What do you guys think? Does it look good?
I mean,
The
I,
I'm
gameplay
excited.
looks good.
I'm excited
like
for
to
it, man.
get
I'm
it,
looking forward
for
to
sure.
it.
Yeah, I actually like when they showed the HUD for the characters. They had a little bit of that throwback color scheme to the original. I thought that was
nice
really
little
I
homage.
don't know if it was said or not, but I do like the fact that you could take direct control of any of the characters. That was something I was afraid of,
Yes.
that they were going to do what they did in 15, where you can only play as the male lead.
Exactly.
No, you don't just play as Cloud, you can play as anybody.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea, actually.
Yeah.
What do you think about it being episodic, though?
Ugh.
I'm not sure what I think about
As
it.
long as they fill it with content.
They
it's
are.
okay.
It's on 2 Blu-rays.
So,
I mean, the gameplay look like the
They are
graphics
definitely
look
fleshing the hell out
stunning.
of Midgar out.
yeah.
But let's face facts here. That's all that this is going to be.
Is Midgar?
Well, think about it. They're not showing Red. They're not showing Vincent. They're not showing Cape Sif, and they're all post Midgar. Hell, we barely. Did we see Yuffie yet? Obviously not playable, but did we see her yet?
Do you think that just the first segment is just all Midgar?
I
and
think the first part of this game is just going to be Midgar.
that's fair enough. I mean, that's a good
I
chunk.
mean, if
of
they flesh it out, then you can probably get a good
Arguably,
15 to
I
20
think-
hours out of it.
I think the best part of FF7 is the first part. Like
Exactly,
once,
yeah.
don't
It draws
but
you in.
so what? But the crazy thing is at the same time is that once you get out of Midgar and the world opens up, you're like that moment right afterwards. You're like, oh my god, this game is huge.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool like aha moment. But then after that, it's still great, but it drags a little bit compared to the first. Like you're doing missions in the first little bit, you're blowing up reactors, you're trying to figure out all this like who Shinra is and all that stuff.
Yeah, it does spread a little thin after you leave Midgar, I will admit.
We're gonna have to probably unfortunately wrap this up pretty soon because we got to get he has stuff going on this afternoon, and I don't have anything, but he has to be back at his place by 1 or 1:30. We have to leave here by 1:30. So
we can leave here by like 1:30.
Well, it's going to take like 20 minutes or so to tear down and bring all this stuff over. I'd love to keep recording. This has been great. This has been a lot of fun.
That's a beautiful day.
I was really nervous it was going to be super windy. And I was really nervous it was going to rain.
Oh, no, it's very nice.
Oh, it's so nice. And I was also nervous I was going to get sunburnt, but we're in the shade, well, at least for now, until the sun eventually creeps up and over. But I think this is a good place to wrap it up for here. So thank you all for listening to this episode of Still Loading. If you want to check us out, you can check us out on social media, Still Loading Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also... oh my God, I'm blanking. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to support the Podbeard Network, check out all the amazing shows on the Podbeard Network at podbeardnetwork.com. Casey, do you have anything you want to shout out, or anyone you want to shout out, or anything like that?
You can just check me out on Instagram. I plugged it before. It's Kazuya Kane, Kazuyakane, all one word. So,
Vince, you've been talking to us for a while. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Not particularly. I'm good.
Fair enough. Justin, anything you would like to plug, since you were the original co-host of the show? The original.
No, but a huge thanks to Frank for setting this up today.
I'm so happy he let us record out here today. I hope he lets us do this again next year. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like it went really smoothly. So I don't see why it wouldn't.
I mean, the whole issue was just the power thing, but once we got taken care of, it was smooth sailing.
I'll purchase one for next year.
Okay.
Yes, we won't have to.
But I was gonna say I'll bail you out next year.
But so thank you, seriously, thank you everyone for listening. I hope this first live episode sounded good to you all. I hope the audio worked out well. I was listening to it in and out as it was going on to make sure you could hear everything. So hopefully that translates well over to Audacity, and then in turn when I upload it. And I know I normally give shout-outs, but I'm bad at thinking on my feet when there's a lot of people looking at me, so I don't really want to do that right now. Shout-out. You can listen to other episodes to hear those shout-outs. And I think that's it. So thank you all once again for listening, and I will see you all next time.